Throughout history, certain books have held the power to inspire, guide, and transform lives. Yet, some texts were considered too dangerous, too controversial, or too revealing to be included in the standard canon. Among these are the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch, two texts that have fascinated scholars, theologians, and believers for centuries. Why were these books, revered by some and rejected by others, left out of the mainstream Bible? What hidden truths lie within their pages? Today, we unravel the mystery behind their exclusion and explore the profound impact they could have had on our understanding of biblical history. The Ethiopian Bible is not just another version of the Bible. It is one of the oldest and most complete collections of biblical texts in existence. Unlike the 66-book canon that is accepted in most of Western Christianity, the Ethiopian Bible contains between 81 to 88 books, depending on the specific version. This makes it distinct, not only in its breadth, but also in the unique content it offers. For centuries, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church has maintained this broader biblical canon, which includes texts such as the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, and several others that were excluded from the Western Bible. These additional books offer a window into a more expansive view of biblical history, one that is rich with spiritual, mystical, and theological insights. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Ethiopian Bible is its preservation of ancient wisdom that has been largely forgotten or dismissed in other Christian traditions. The Ethiopian Church, which traces its origins back to the 4th century, views these texts as essential to understanding the fullness of God's revelation. Unlike Western Christianity, which consolidated its canon during the early ecumenical councils, the Ethiopian Church maintained a tradition that honored these ancient texts, considering them integral to the spiritual life of its people. One of the critical distinctions is the inclusion of the Book of Enoch, a text that has puzzled scholars and believers alike for generations. But before we dive into the Book of Enoch, it's essential to understand why these additional texts have remained so significant within Ethiopian Christianity and why they were ultimately excluded elsewhere. The Book of Enoch is one of the most intriguing and controversial texts included in the Ethiopian Bible. Attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, this ancient Jewish text offers an extraordinary account of heavenly visions, angelic rebellion, and the origins of evil in the world. Early Jewish and Christian cultures read the Book of Enoch extensively, having been composed during the 3rd and 1st centuries BCE. Nevertheless, the Book of Enoch was not included in the official Western Christian canon by the time the biblical canon was established in the 4th century. At its core, the Book of Enoch reveals profound mysteries about the cosmos and the divine order. One of the central themes is the story of the Watchers, angels who descended to earth and, contrary to divine law, took human wives and fathered the Nephilim, a race of giants. This union, according to the text, led to the corruption of humanity and the spread of wickedness across the world. A further account of Enoch's travels across the heavenly regions, where he saw the ultimate destruction of the rebellious angels' progeny and the divine punishment of the rebel angels, is found in the Book of Enoch. God has appointed Enoch to act as a messenger between the celestial and earthly domains in these visions, serving as both an observer and a mediator in giving people warnings and prophecies. The significance of the Book of Enoch lies not only in its apocalyptic visions, but also in its theological implications. It presents a detailed account of the nature of angels, demons, and the end times, themes that would later influence Christian eschatology. Its vivid descriptions of divine justice and cosmic warfare offered early readers a window into the spiritual dimensions of the universe, one that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Despite the profound influence of the Book of Enoch and other apocryphal texts, they were ultimately excluded from the Western biblical canon. To understand why, we must look back at the early centuries of Christianity, a time when the young church was grappling with theological diversity and the need for doctrinal unity. The Council of Nicaea in 325 CE, along with subsequent councils, played a crucial role in determining which books would be considered authoritative and which would be excluded. The decision to exclude certain texts, such as the Book of Enoch, was not simply a matter of theology. It was also influenced by the desire to consolidate orthodoxy and eliminate interpretations that were deemed too speculative or controversial. The Book of Enoch's portrayal of fallen angels, its vivid descriptions of the end times, and its esoteric visions of the heavenly realms were seen as too radical for the emerging Christian orthodoxy. Early church leaders were concerned that these themes might lead to theological confusion or encourage beliefs that were not aligned with the developing Christian doctrine. The exclusion of these texts also speaks to the power dynamics within early Christianity. As the church sought to establish a unified set of beliefs, anything that challenged or complicated that narrative was deemed dangerous. The Book of Enoch's account of the Watchers, Nephilim, and apocalyptic prophecies did not fit neatly within the theological framework that the church was building. Thus, while the Book of Enoch and other apocryphal writings remained highly regarded within certain Christian traditions, such as the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, they were largely suppressed or forgotten in Western Christianity. What is it about these books that made them so controversial? And why were they deemed too dangerous for inclusion in the mainstream canon? To answer this question, we must look deeper into the theological and esoteric themes that these texts explore. At the heart of the Book of Enoch is the story of the Watchers, fallen angels who rebelled against God's divine order. Their descent to earth and their subsequent interactions with humanity not only introduced evil, but also revealed uncomfortable truths about the spiritual hierarchy and the fragility of the divine plan. The Watchers' actions were seen as a cosmic threat, and their punishment, as described in the Book of Enoch, was swift and severe. The text's depiction of angelic rebellion and divine retribution challenged traditional views of the relationship between God, angels, and humanity. In Enoch's visions, we see a universe in which the lines between good and evil are blurred, where even divine beings can fall from grace. This portrayal was likely too unsettling for early church leaders who preferred a more simplified narrative of sin and redemption. The Book of Enoch also contains apocalyptic prophecies that go far beyond the scope of the canonical Bible. Enoch's visions of the end times reveal a future in which divine justice will be administered on a cosmic scale. These prophecies, filled with imagery of destruction, judgment, and renewal, may have been seen as too speculative or extreme for inclusion in the Bible. However, they offer a rich and complex understanding of the end times, one that has influenced apocalyptic literature in both Judaism and Christianity. While the Book of Enoch and other apocryphal texts were largely forgotten in the West, they were preserved and revered by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. This ancient Christian tradition, dating back to the 4th century, has maintained a broader biblical canon that includes these texts, considering them an essential part of Christian spirituality. The Ethiopian Church views the Book of Enoch and other excluded texts as containing valuable spiritual insights. Far from being seen as dangerous or heretical, these writings are considered to be inspired by God, offering a more complete understanding of biblical history and prophecy. In Ethiopia, these texts have played a significant role in shaping the spiritual identity of the church and its followers. The stories of Enoch, the Watchers, and the Nephilim are not just theological curiosities. They are part of a living tradition that continues to inspire and inform Ethiopian Christianity. The Ethiopian Bible, with its inclusion of these ancient texts, offers a unique perspective on Christian history and theology. It serves as a reminder that the Bible, as we know it in the West, is not the only version of sacred scripture. The Ethiopian tradition has preserved a broader canon, one that offers a more expansive view of God's revelation to humanity. The story of the Book of Enoch does not end with its exclusion from the Western Bible. In the 18th century, European scholars rediscovered the text, sparking renewed interest in its contents. Since then, the Book of Enoch has been the subject of intense study and debate, with some scholars arguing for its inclusion in the biblical canon and others continuing to view it as too speculative. In modern times, the Book of Enoch has been embraced by various religious and spiritual movements, from Jewish mysticism to New Age esotericism. Its themes of angelic rebellion, cosmic justice, and apocalyptic prophecy resonate with those seeking a deeper understanding of the spiritual dimensions of the universe. Yet the Book of Enoch remains a source of controversy. Some religious leaders argue that its exclusion from the Bible was a necessary safeguard against dangerous ideas, while others believe that its removal represents a lost opportunity to explore the full richness of biblical tradition. The exclusion of the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch from the mainstream canon raises important questions about the nature of religious authority and the power of sacred texts. These books offer us a glimpse into a forgotten chapter of biblical history, one that challenges the orthodoxies of both Judaism and Christianity. What hidden truths have we lost by excluding these texts? And what might we learn if we dared to revisit them with fresh eyes? Ultimately, the narrative of the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch is about the deep mysteries of faith, spirituality, and the human search for heavenly understanding, not merely about what the Bible omits. Although some people may find these old writings unsettling, they provide a deep and nuanced understanding of the universe that still inspires and challenges us today.